Happy Thursday evening. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. I would like to thank you for joining me today. All right, so this video on Dave Ramsey ran about 10 hours ago on the Dave Ramsey Show highlight. Do you hear how crazy this sounds? Well, I don't know what it sounds like, but I'm ready to hear it. So let's go ahead, trim this baby on down. This is at 1.25 speed. Let's do it.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
And Hannah's going to kick us off in Akron, Ohio this hour. Hannah, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Sure. What's going on?
So I am 22. My boyfriend's 23, and my question is, all of our debt will be paid off by April of 2025. That's credit card, 2 vehicles, and credit card and 2 vehicles. All we have left will be our new mortgage we just acquired last year.
Are they married? I think she said her boyfriend. 2 vehicles, a mortgage that they just acquired. So it tells me there's a new house.
But our problem is our house is sitting on land that's not in our name. So should I stay on our plan to pay everything off now in 2025, or keep that extra money, start piling it into a savings to put a down payment on the property by this next year?
So you're looking to buy the land?
Yes.
How did that not happen with the sale of the house, or when you guys bought the house? What was the
The original deal was that me and my boyfriend were looking for a house. We couldn't
My boyfriend and I.
get approved for a house by itself. So we bought a modular home, and my grandma said, oh, you can put it on my property, and then you guys can eventually, when you can, buy the property and keep it in the family name. Okay, cool. So we did that, and she has just been letting us have it here. So it's not just some Smojo that we have it on. It is family.
Sure.
However, she needs to get out of her debt that she has on the property. So ideally, we don't want to cut her short on buying the property just to pay off what she has, but we also want to give her a fair price for it. So
I got to stop her for a minute. This is her boyfriend. So she and her boyfriend are buying property that belongs to her grandmother. Geez, I know it's the end of the week, so I hope I'm interpreting this all right. With her boyfriend. So the reason I'm confused is I would think that, you're talking your family's land, property. Is that something you would just do with a boyfriend? Unless I missed something.
we've been here for about a year. We can financially, I think, buy it by end of next year, but I don't know if I should stockpile all my extra I'm putting into paying off my credit card and our 2 vehicles, or put it towards a down payment.
Okay. Can we go like a little high level conversation here, Hannah, for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you are talking about your finances with your boyfriend, you're using a lot of like we statements. We're doing this, our debt, all of it. So just doing this for as long as we have. When you are not legally married, there is not an ours, we conversation. It's a Hannah's conversation. And what's your boyfriend's name?
Joey.
Joey?
Yes.
And Joey's money, right? So like these, there's gonna be 2 separate lanes here. And I know that's gonna be difficult for you to kind of untangle in your head because it has been so unified. But what ends up happening is that you combine emotionally, acting like you're married, combining accounts, paying on each other's debt, all of it, without any legal representation and no legal documents here.
Could you, and Rachel Cruz is right, could you imagine the nightmare scenario to her grandmother's property if this relationship should break up? In other words, I'm no property, land expert or legal, okay? But I'm just thinking the nightmare scenario. If basically this outside dude, Yash, I know she calls him her boyfriend, okay? This outside dude has just gained access to a family's fortune, so to speak. I mean, we're just talking dollars, okay? Has just gained access to a family's fortune. If he and this caller, the gal, break up, and again, I'm no legal expert, but I would think it would be a heck of a nightmare if he could actually claim part of her family's fortune, yet he was never married to her, yet she's bringing him on and committing him to the debt so that he would actually have a leg, perhaps, to stand up in court and say, look, you know what? I own part of her grandmother's property. It doesn't matter that, she wants to break up with me. I'm part owner. This is a train wreck, an absolute nightmare train wreck. And I think what's also kind of, maybe it shouldn't surprise me, but it does. It's the casualness at which she's talking about this. I mean, it's almost like they're going grocery shopping. Oh, would you like a Target? Well, I need some Oreos and some vanilla wafers. Don't forget some salad. I mean, it's literally, it is so casual the way that she's talking about this. It is scary. And they're very young. Okay. Very early 20s. I don't see this ending well. I see a lot of naivety in her. Again, it's what Ramsey, Dave would say, you're playing house, but you're playing house on a legal card that you don't understand.
If something happens, and I'll say if, that it's a complete mess. And our job is to be there for the people when it's a complete mess. So those are a lot of the calls and some of the stories that we hear on that side. So what I have learned is, as separate as you can live, that could be financially, physically, all the things, like as separate as you can live until you're married, it is a cleaner break. There is something about it that it just makes it cleaner on an emotional, financial side. So I'm going to ask you, Hannah, how much do you bring in with your job? What do you make?
$50,000.
You make $50,000. Okay. How cards do you have any? Are any of your credit cards have his name attached to them at all, or are their credit cards with just Hannah's name?
Just the credit card that's in my name. He has his own that he pays.
Perfect. So how much do you have in your credit card? How much debt do you have on your credit card?
$2,400.
$2,400. Okay, perfect. And then you have a car. Is it just under your name, one of the cars?
Yes.
Okay, and how much do you owe on that one?
$5,000.
$5,000. Perfect. Okay, and what does Joey make a year?
$80,000.
$80,000. Perfect. And what does for his credit cards? How much does he owe?
Only like $1,000.
$1,000. Perfect. And what about his car?
$29,000.
$29,000. Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. Okay, so what I would do, Hannah, is I would be working to pay using your $50K to be paying off your credit card, you paying off your car, and he's working his plan. You can do it at the same time, but I would not be mixing numbers, and you guys have your own plan. Now, the mortgage.
That's the part that has me the most scared, is the mortgage. Is she turning over part of her family's money to a person that is not related to the family? That's the part that has me most concerned.
Is it in both your names?
It is. We have to do it that way to get approved.
Yes, because you couldn't afford it otherwise. So,
right.
Okay, so that's done. So my next piece of advice then would be to, if you decide on your own, Hannah, to buy this property, which I don't think you can afford right now on your grandmother's property. I don't see that happening soon. And if I were Joey, I would not be tying my name into land deeds and loans and all of it with a family loan on a family property that I'm not legally bound to. Like, he's the one, and honestly, Hannah, he'd be the one that gets screwed in this whole situation if you guys break up. So my next,
she does have a point there. Also, because he makes the majority of the money. I just don't see this ending well. For really either one of them, but especially for him. And then not only to mention the cost of the property, the liability of the property. I know, if you've watched this channel, I have an insurance background. Okay. The liability, something happens on the property. Now, who is responsible? You're not married to each other, but you're both on the property. You're both listed on insurance policies dealing with the property. I don't see this in a good light.
Next thing would be,
it's been 8 years.
Are y'all, do what?
I said, I hope not. It's been 8 years.
Yeah, Hannah, and...
Oh, it's been 8 years that they've been dating. Okay, so 8 years that they've been dating. I'd say he's probably pretty comfortable with her. I think he doesn't see any reason to marry her. That's what I kind of suspect. I mean, he's getting everything that he kind of needs, right? You got the house, the car, the little woman.
Y'all are 22 and 23.
The only reason we're not married is because we don't have the funds to do that.
Hannah.
Oh, halt. Time. I don't even have to listen to what they're going to say. Time. We don't have the funds to do that BS. Look at this. We got the cars. We got the house. We think we're going to have enough to, we got money to put on credit cards. We got money to pay off this stuff. No. That is, is that the scapegoat? I think that's called a scapegoat answer. Oh, well, we don't have the money. We don't have the money to get married. Oh, yeah, sure.
Hannah. Wrong answer. You're telling me you had the funds to get a mortgage but not to get married?
Go to Walmart and buy a silver Vans Go on Amazon. I could go right now on Amazon and get you guys 2 rings for $9.99. You go to the courthouse and get married. Go get married. Do it.
I've said that, but it's not good enough. It's not special enough.
Joey.
For him or for you?
For him.
He's making
Well,
excuses.
you guys
Hannah.
are acting like you're married anyways. So what is it? What is a certificate?
He doesn't want to marry her. He doesn't want to marry her. That's what it is. He likes playing house with her. He likes that distance. You know, it's kind of that, okay, we can act like we're a married couple, but we're not really married. He doesn't want to marry her.
It didn't change it that
So
much.
he wants to become a real estate mogul with you, but not put a ring on it. He's making excuses.
He's heard it from both sides. My
Okay.
dad and
Hannah, okay, let me just tell you this. Okay,
You should be glad Rachel's on this call because my blood is
go,
boiling.
George.
With this.
You can add in. I just
your
would keep,
life is like a Common Core math problem. It's so messed up. It hurts my brain. You guys.
He's using her. He's using her. Simple. That's the way I see it. She has access to perhaps property that he would like to have in his name. Just think about it. Okay? I'm sorry that it's a very shallow excuse to say I can't marry you because I can't afford it. That's just silly. But for all I know, if I'm going to play a really pessimistic role, what I see is someone who's going, you know what? You've got a piece of property that's been in the family for a long time. I have the opportunity to get it. Is it a deed under my name? I told you I'm really bad at realtor terms. Okay. A deed. I think it is that where you sign that you own it. Okay. I have the opportunity to get this property under my name, because once that family turns it over to him, to them both, and then down the road, she says, let's end it. Or he says, let's end it. Guess what? He's got his thumb. He's got his pulse on a piece of property that he wanted.
Has got yourself into a mess, and you're digging a hole deeper by getting entrenched in grandma's financial situation, taking on land debt on top of a mortgage that's in both of your names, but you're not married, to help grandma out.
And I wonder if grandma is fully aware of the situation. Like, I'm not saying grandma's faculties aren't all there, okay? But I do wonder if grandma's really fully aware. In other words, does this young lady have an adult in the room? And I'm not talking about her boyfriend, Joey.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you hear how crazy that sentence was?
I know, and I know it was a crazy situation.
How about
even
this?
getting
How about we
involved.
She's had time to justify that sentence. You know, well, we would be married, but he doesn't have the money. She's had, I suspect, years to justify that sentence. So it's kind of like you tell yourself something over and over and over again. Eventually, you buy it, you believe into it, and she's had lots of time to justify it. So when people say, "Well, that just sounds nuts. That just sounds crazy," it's, you know, it does. She's unaffected by it, and you can tell just by how casually she talks about this whole situation.
Back out of this land deal because we can't afford it, and we're 22 trying to figure out our life. I think we get out of this modular home. Number one, that modular home is going down in value.
It's not a great investment anyways.
So I would get out of that thing as soon as you could. Good luck finding another renter for it, right?
Yeah, that was kind of from the beginning of why it even happened. But
We have to
won't
think
go there.
about the future when we make decisions today. And I really pray that we can resolve this, that you guys can get out of this mess, that you get married, that you get on the right foot with this thing. But right now,
There's
I'm
no
not
land deal
continuing
happening.
with this deal.
No, you can't. You can't afford it, Hannah. You can't afford it. And it's not your responsibility either in this. So I would separate those finances. You guys work your plan. Tell Joey to go on Amazon. I can send them a link. I'll send them a link.
And of course, you know, Joey is never, ever going to go on Amazon. Joey's happy. That's the end of the video. Joey is happy with life just the way it is. All right, folks, I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. Tomorrow's Friday. I'd like to thank you for joining me. I hope you will consider subscribing. You have a great night. Bye.